Good morning, and good morning. Welcome to another trading day, or at the very least, what we hope is going to be a good trading day. Let's jump right into the market, see what this thing is about to show us. Our futures right now, the Dow future is down 0.22%. Futures for S&P down 0.18%. NAS is technically unchanged. It's only up by 50 cents. And for Europe, everything down. um, European markets open lower as UK inflation misses estimate. So the what's down the most is FTSE Milano over here. And actually, technically, FTSE is down 0.61%. But CAC is down 0.54. I was looking at the dollar amount right here, but stocks is also down. So all of Europe is down right now, and the majority of Asia. Nikkei being down 0.85% is the most. Shanghai is the only one that is up 0.02%. Asia Pacific markets trade mixed as investors parse slew of Japanese data. For Russell 2K, we have last reported was down 0.20%. The VIX currently is up 1.10% right now. There's some things going on. Okay. Interesting. All right. For the economic information, we have for Forex Factory. This is at 10 o'clock. We have the orange folder, existing home sales. 10:30, yellow folder, crude oil inventories. And then at 2 o'clock, we have the FOMC meeting minutes. That is a red folder. That is a red folder. That may mean something. So for investing.com, though, we have 7 o'clock. We had about 4 or 5 things happen already. The NBA 30-year mortgage rate, mortgage applications week over week, purchase index, market index, and refinance index all at 7 o'clock. All 1 stars. At 10 o'clock, we have the existing home sales for April, which is 3 stars. And then existing home sales month over month for April. That's 2 stars. At 10:30, over here, it's crude oil inventories, which is 3 stars. Over here, it was only a yellow folder. 10:30 is also EIA refinery crude runs week over week and crude oil imports, both 1 stars. Cushing crude oil inventories is 2 stars. And then the distillate fuel production, EIA weekly distillate stocks, gasoline production, heating oil stockpiles, and the EIA weekly refinery utilization rates week over week with the gasoline inventories are all at 10:30. And again, these are all 1 stars except for the Cushing oil inventories. 1 o'clock, we got the 20-year bond auction. That's 2 stars over here. And then 3 stars at 2 o'clock. The FOMC meeting minutes. The FOMC meeting minutes. So they at least agree that that is going to be some type of an event. So that is one thing for us to keep track of. Adam Mancini. Yesterday, key support in SPX was 53.29. Oh, man. Messed this up again. Skip those 2 numbers. It took all day. Tests of 53.05 this week. We hit 53.23 target, then dipped. We remain in extreme chop. Matter of fact, let me go into my what I would call my bag. And oh, I see exactly what happened. We're going to save this again. And 1 second. There you go. Maybe something didn't seem right. There you go. So yes, yesterday key support in the SPX was 53.05 with 53.18, 53.23 daily target. It took all day, but after 12 tests of 53.05 this week, we hit 53.23 target, then dipped. We remain in extreme chop plan. No change. 53.14 is weaker. 52.98 is support. So 53.14 to 52.98 is support. If it keeps 53.22, the breakout 52.33 and higher is live. But under 52.98 is the dip. So here's what we can do with that. The opening bell has already rang, and it started by dropping the open. All right, so we're gonna do usual. To be honest with you, I think I want to do, in this case, a rectangle. Everything is feeling right now. Some stuff is closing, some stuff is opening. Let's see here. So let's do, make this red, brighter red, and then we'll just go like that. Put Mancini on there. And the reason why I'm doing a rectangle instead of just a straight line is because when he mentioned the a range of numbers. So 53.14 to 52.98. So I figure make more sense to just put that on. So let's go 52.98. We'll say down here. You gotta be perfect, but close. All right. And then actually 53.14 is way up here. All right. So about right there. So this is the block. If it gets through here and drops, that is going to be a problem. All right. This is what S&P did on yesterday. Pushed up, headed up. I remember we were waiting to see if it was going to break out of the 15-minute. It did not do it, obviously, right away. Then we were waiting to see if it was going to come back down into it, which it did. That's what it did right here. But once it went up, it bounced and just kept moving. Higher highs, higher highs. So, and then higher lows. So this break right here on the trend line, you may have expected that it would break at some point. Let's see here. We would have drawn the trend line yesterday. I would have assumed something was going to be happening, depending on when you drew the line. But I would have expected something to be happening right about now. Who knows what, but the trend line would have at least given me an idea. All right, so this, we'll keep this here. We know that we have a gap here. I will mark this gap really quickly. I had to get out of some stuff, man. Even though it is my Sam, I was looking at the chart and saw a couple things turn around. I was like, nah, let me go ahead and get up out of here. This don't look too good. So keep in mind when we're looking at S&P also that this is what we know as a buyer zone, right? Even if you use this as a small leg out, should I blow this up? Even if you use this as a small leg out and go 2 in the base and the leg out here, this range that Mancini, obviously he's talking about it on the ES, but when we convert the numbers, this is a buyer zone right here. So once it starts going past 5306, and this is the 15-minute chart, now we're talking about breaking, break past 5311, you come down here, 5307. Now you're talking about some potential reversals right there for sure. All right, but we will not speculate. All right, let's go to earnings. So before market today was Target, TJX Analog Devices, which is in the tech space, Dorian, LPG, Dicom Golden Ocean, Walk Me Petco, Williams Sonoma, and Arby. That looks like to me. Arb. After close today, the very much anticipated NVIDIA. Got Snowflake Elf VF Corporation, Synopsys, Starbuck, Live Ramp, SQM, Grupo, Supervail, and Agora. Yeah, there's a whole lot of I posted in our Telegram group an article talking about I guess Amazon either put on hold or canceled some chips that they were going to be getting from NVIDIA, it sounds like. Before open tomorrow morning is Ralph Lauren, Maxion, TD Bank, which is TD Ameritrade for us, BJ's, Medtronic, Polestar, Endava, NetEase Games, Titan Machinery, and Celebrate. After close on Thursday is Deckers, Intuit, Ross, Workday, Silvercorp, Emerin, Stepstone, Woodmark, Cavco, and Lionsgate. All right, I'm gonna leave Friday alone for right now, but we got enough sprinkled in for the next couple of days that we may see movement in the various sectors, especially tech. This would be, I would think this would probably be consumer discretionary. Elf for the cosmetics crew. And then, okay, that's finance here. BJ's is a store, a franchise, so I would expect that to be probably consumer discretionary. So then you have a bunch of, Intuit, Workday, and what we got going on over here for Synopsys for tech. So over the next, couple trading days, we got a little bit of everything happening. Lionsgate is obviously, to be honest with you, I didn't even realize they were publicly traded. But we got option seller trade ideas. This was released on this past Sunday. Probably want to get in there and take a look to make sure that nothing is getting breached that you are in currently. Some of these may have been ready to close on yesterday, depending on when you put them in. I had a couple that got to where it was going faster than I thought. And those were some of the ones that were probably, hopefully, closing this morning. But on the flip, some of them might have been hitting their stops too. So who knows? But some of these, TJX is one of the ones that was having earnings this week. So that's the one we definitely have to skip if you're rolling with us, and we usually don't do earnings. But so if you traded any of these this week, drop in the chat box which ones you traded, and let us know how it went. This is SimMay. Started May 1st. We picked a strategy, and we wanted to learn the test and run it all of May. And we have been running it. No real money on this strategy until June, if it's proven to work. My strategy that I have been focusing on has been vertical credit spreads. That's what I've been working on, vertical credit spreads. Mostly on RUT, which is Russell 2K. So let's see what we got. Good morning, Lady T. Good morning, Janae. Sizaline, good morning. Nori, good morning. Karen C, good morning. Appreciate y'all. That That's funny. She said my trades never move like Jamie Sam. Listen, my live trades don't even move like Jamie Sam. Okay. We got Wolf, WOOF. Really? Is that I did not know that was their ticker. Woo, player. All right, here we got. This is Wolf. Let me tell you how I wouldn't even be messing around with this. But so what I do see right here though is some semblance of a seller zone. I guess you can do leg in, two in the base, leg out for a seller zone, but I probably will more likely do this green one as a leg in, this one as a leg out. This is on the monthly chart. No, I'm looking at this because it was requested. This is I guess if you are a bearish trader, you would be looking at this. So there is that. You have no reason not to be doing puts on this. Let's look at weekly. So recently on the weekly chart, it has broken past its most recent highs, and it looks like, okay, $4 Petco was that cheap? Wow. All right. I did not know that. So you got this up here as the next seller zone that I see for the weekly. And then you actually do have a buyer zone down here. And in this case, I probably would do something like this to take advantage of that leg out. But it did break past a recent high on the weekly chart. And then there's the gap up. To be honest with you, this essentially formed a chair. Leg in, 3, 4 in the base, leg out is what that is with a gap up. So likely some news must have happened recently, possibly. It looks like the sellers have come in to push that back and say, I don't think so. So I'll be looking. Yeah. If I was doing anything with this, I'll probably be down here. Now, again, there's a couple of reasons why I wouldn't even be trading this. But since it was requested, we're doing it. The number one reason is because of how it looks on the monthly chart. Like I said, you have to be comfortable trading heading down like this. So if somebody who's been in it may, be comfortable because they've been following it and watching it. But the other thing is when you look at the daily chart, this was fine for the basing, but if you're aware of the vernacular of odds enhancers, this means that you got 1, 2, 3, 4 candles in the base, a nice gap up, but 4 candles in the base. So that would be dinging you on the odds enhancers right there. But also from the fact that it's a penny stock, I'll be a little skeptical. And lastly, I wouldn't be doing it is because I'm not a big fan of monthly expirations, because that means you got to hold it. Well, you don't have to hold it for that entire time, but the time in between and how it ties up your money, I would not be too keen on. In this case, though, we have June 21st. This is, let me see. If this was me trading this, I'll be probably looking at cash secure put. Would not be, only because 24. Yeah, I don't see anything else. Like if I was trying to trade it for June, yeah, I'm not really seeing. If you're doing a cash secure put, you will be saying that you're buying selling a put here, believing that it would stay above price. So based on now, you'll be saying you think it's going to stay above $3. I'm not sure I got that kind of confidence, but I don't know the stock. So it was a recent gap up. So I guess I'll have to know why it gapped up, or at least study up on that. But I probably would not. But I do see that. There's clearly a lot of activity here. $250 collateral for $10 is a cash secure put. Now it still will be iffy. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not seeing the upside on this personally. But so for call credit spread, I don't see anything. Put credit spread, I don't see anything. Cash secured put. Now, what I will say is, because of the industry that it's in, I'll be comparing this to PetSmart and Chewy and some of the other ones in that same space to see how it fares in terms of its charts. So for all I know, it could be a situation where, this is the way the chart looks, but it may be, it may be in line with the way it moves, how all of them are looking, and this chart just happens to move that way. But that's what I got for this. I personally wouldn't do anything with that. But I could see somebody, and I wouldn't do anything with it as far as trading it for income like we do. But if it's a situation where a buy and hold type situation where you think it's going to go up, that's a cheap stock. And then I will be looking to see who the holders are forward and things like that. That's what would catch my attention. So for trading, I wouldn't do it. But if I was just looking at it because I'm familiar with some of the other companies, what I would do is I would go to finance.yahoo.com. I would type in Wolf, and then I would go to the profile section over here on the left just to see we can see what the company is. Let me go to holders down here. That's what I want. I will go to holders. So this is telling me who the holders are. And I look for the holders so I can know who the big dogs are that's got the most shares, right? So Vanguard is up in here. I'm sure y'all have heard of it. I think BlackRock, I hope you've heard of BlackRock and Morgan Stanley. So at the very least, even if I don't know these other ones, I know that BlackRock and Vanguard are two of the companies, and they hold a lot of shares in this company, right? So what is it? That's 16 million, over 16. That's over 16 million shares between the two. Now, I'm not saying that means anything, right? I'm not saying that well, and actually Morgan Stanley. So you got Vanguard, BlackRock, and Morgan Stanley. All right. So that's 21 million shares. That's a lot of shares. So this stock is probably when I was saying buy and hold earlier. That's another way of saying growth stock many times. So trade for income, I wouldn't mess with it. But if it's something that you can see growing down the road, that's the only way I could see that. That's what I would be looking at first, personally. This is MGM Resorts. MGM Resorts. This is consumer discretionary because you get to party. Let's go here. I'm just looking at this. Yeah, so not only is this on the uptrend, but it has been hitting that same trend line over the past year and some change. This is the monthly chart. And I mean, two ways to look at this. Overall, I see this as uptrending, meaning in terms of the way it's moving on the trend line. But if you're going like left to right, it's kind of in a channel basing. If you go up here to about, I'll put here, even if you went down here, but if I went about right here, that's kind of in a channel, like it's moving sideways anyway. But the lows have been getting higher, but your highs have not. Your highs have been, they're not like moving up like a stair step, basically, for your monthly. For the weekly, it's a nice seller zone weekly. I reckon you can consider this a buyer zone. Even if you didn't like this middle candle, that base candle on there, some people will skip the formation based on that. I'm not mad at you because I have problems with those middle candles, but this over here is a strong formation. Leg in, base leg out right here on the weekly. So we got stuff to consider in these areas in terms of your buyers for the weekly chart. And you got two levels for your sellers. So those are some strong levels, or shall I say zones. There's some strong zones. Of course, we got this right here. Outside of fact, there's a gap down. It is really in a buyer zone. So see what we got. Then we're going to swing back and check on our SPX, see what XPX is doing. Look at Russell, see what he's doing. And I haven't found a girl name for Russ, for the Russell 2000. I come up with a nice. All right, so here we go. In the buyer zone, I guess drop in. I see right here. This is a little bit of a weird situation here because this doji candle right there, you can barely see it because the buyers and the sellers almost reminds me of that song, Beans and Cornbread Had a Fight. You ever heard that song? Beans and Cornbread Had a Fight. That's what it reminds me of. Let me see. Appearance. We'll do dojis and probably doing it white. So it'll be way clearer. See that? That means the buyers and the sellers, it opened and closed pretty much the same spot. Actually, it did open and close on the same spot. Opened at 41.29, closed at 41.29. So there's no body of a candle there because open and close in the same area. The strongest formation here on the daily is this right here. So even though this one is the one that it's in, the zone that it's in, I would be marking this one as the stronger zone. Then I'm gonna just drop that on it to mark the zone that it is currently in. There you have it, that end of it. It went back, came through here, retested, bounced. I mean, this $41 area seems to be making some noise for him. So if you want to do this, I mean, technically in this area, that's really the only seller zone that I see. So you can go with this as the zone for here, if you so chose. And I'm pretty sure I can see people using that as a chair. I don't know how I feel about that as a chair. Maybe two in the base as a chair. I'm 50-50 on that one. So, yeah, this one doesn't seem like a chair in my opinion. But let me see what we got. If you look at a line chart. Ooh, okay. So when I switch to the line chart, I literally just look to see if there is a formation that somewhat resembles a cheer. And there is one right there. So, okay. So here's what I'll do. We'll say that the next one up would be this one. And again, base leg out. Even if you wanted to, well, I won't even complicate it. So right here, I will be going above $42. I was trying to get into this for this Friday. There may not be much in premiums, but it will still be something to look at. 73. Nope. Let's see. 31st. Probably 43. So I would be looking at, depending on what, so for 50-cent spread, it'll be $6. I'm usually going for a one spread. So I will be looking at, that's worse. Let me see. That was worse. Okay, I'll try 41. Yeah, because 42. Yeah, that's right. 42. And then 43. Wow. So yeah, I mean, obviously, you can always increase this, and which is what I definitely would do to make sure it's 10% of that one spread for because that collateral would be $100. So I want to collect $10 on that, but that's where I would be looking. If I was, but I wouldn't, getting that close to it, meaning doing it for this Friday. There was no premiums, but I would be getting above this for right now. It doesn't look to be a heavy mover overall. And so I don't mess around with getting in the way of the falling knife. All right. I see what looks like, it looks like peanut butter and jelly is what it looked like. PBJ, hello, lovely. Hello, I'll manage. Ooh. Russie, I got you. Russette. Janae, thank you. I like Russette. Rosada, like Rosetta Stone, got you. Good morning, Tamar. Okay. Russette, thank you. Oh, I like that. Investco, PBJ. Oh, I see why they do. Investco Food. That makes sense. Investco is the name of the company that offers various ETF products. This has been, mostly channeling sideways, but on the monthly chart, it is trying to break past its highs. It keeps ticking up past it. But on the monthly chart, this is a really nice seller zone right there. Buyer zone. It's a really nice buyer zone right there. Very strong buyer zone. Sorry about that, y'all. We were supposed to go and check on SPX. See what it's doing. Get to that next. All right, so put that in there somewhere. There's a couple areas we can slide this down to, but I'm fine with either. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot here, meaning as long as it's tapping that line, that's all we care about. But I'll be looking at this as a This looks like it must be some type of flag pattern. But I'm watching this to see how it looks on the weekly. Right? This is basically in a base. It retested and kind of went into a base. Is a seller zone up here. It's another buyer zone right here. Strong buyer zone right here. This is all looks to be momentum heading up that way. And this was a good turnaround point right here. This is a previous, this is now a support price line. So it was resistance and it broke through. So the daily should be looking pretty interesting. Yeah. I will say this. I've never heard of this one before, but it has some very, very strong buyer zones. These buyer zones are clear. So this is on the daily. And that's what we'll do. So technically, I can chart this one, leg in, base, leg out, and consider this a part of that. Or you can chart leg in, base, leg out, and then say no revisits. So in this case, it doesn't really matter. It all depends on how you want to view it. So whether you did this as the formation or this as the formation, I probably like this one a little bit more just because it's more recent. So if we decide to go with this one that's closer to price, I'll do is just move this down a little bit because that is where the base of that candle is right there. So you want to make sure that we're on that base. This almost carries the same question of whether or not that's a chair as the last one that we looked at that had a chair formation. But I do know this, we definitely have a gap right here. So let's acknowledge this gap. All right. Let's do that. And we'll check and see what the options chain is looking like. I always draw these crooked, sorry. All right. And I got to find out from Thinkorswim how to build my own list of those colors. When they first come up, it always shows me a list, but it doesn't let me choose my own. All right, this is some whack line drawings. So y'all already know that my stick figures are terrible. Just based on what's happening here. I was horrible at Hangman, by the way. Okay, so here's what we got. We got the gap right here. Gap down, that's the seller's gap. It is coming into this buyer zone right here. Depending on your temperament, I could literally see, I wouldn't consider this a leg in, but I can see how somebody would. I would be more inclined to, we'll do it this way. To be fair, we're just checking to see if this is a chair formation. Some would say yes immediately with no questions. Some would say no because there's no quote unquote seat right there. I don't know what I think about that. But what I will do is I always will mark it. And well, in this case, I don't really need to mark it because I got the gap right here. But where I will be going in terms of the next one up, there's a couple of different things that I think can be done up here before we look at the options chain. This could be one of them. Be leg in, one in the base, leg out. I'm gonna show you all the ones that I see people do. Small leg in, two in the base, leg out. Not one that I would be down with, but what I like the most up here would be probably this one, leg in, one in the base, leg out. And these would be one revisit. So that's probably how I would look at that. Which is another way of saying that it came up in here into the seller zone, and the sellers pushed it out, and it's been heading on down ever since. So, no, I would not be messing with this one either. Again, only because, and this is all of the strikes, only because I really don't mess with the monthly, the ones that are only for a month. There's like this would be another one that must be, I would say, probably a buy and hold version, buy and hold type of stock, possibly. Not investment advice, but trading for income, at least not for what we're doing, because we are sellers, so we need that premium to be doing something. So did I say hello to Tamara? Hey, Tamara. I didn't say hello to you. Sorry. So yeah, for this one right here, it looks like, because it's not a penny stock, so that's good. In terms of how we trade, that's good. Let me see. And then I'm gonna delete it, but I at least want to see what the ATR is for that. So give me just something. Just need a blank space. PBJ. Oh man, so the ATR is 4.18. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. Sorry. PBJs. Oh, that's why. Okay. So the ATR for this is 37 cents. So that just means that it is a snail that is riding a sloth that is also riding a worm. That's how slow that is. 37 cents. So yeah, that's another one that would probably be one of those buy and hold types. Trading for incomes. I would not trade that one. This is an uptrend. This is TJX, serious uptrend on a monthly chart. Nice. Yeah, that's a clear uptrend too. Like it. Broke past a recent high. Doing all right. It formed a chair right here. Leg in, base, leg out. There's another formation right here that's pretty strong. So when stocks start getting at those all-time highs, some people get excited. But the thing I always say is, you got to ask yourself, there's people who will try to get into the trade now. I'm not saying don't, but I am saying you got to ask yourself, where are you going to take profit? When you get to these all-time highs, where are you going to take profit? So make sure if you know where you're going to take profit, then you definitely need to know where to put your stop. So this is this chair daily gap up, serious gap up. I mean, come on now. You can mark that with no problem. So one of the things that I've noticed, and this might be a no-brainer for you experts. Usually when I'm seeing a gap, I'm usually seeing it trying to gap up past some type of support or resistance. And once this comes back down, I was always looking at the gap. Then I started looking at this over here, whatever the previous support or resistance was that the gap passed as well. I started adding that in as part of what I pay attention to, not just the gap. But in this case, we have a buyer zone, we have a gap, but we don't have yet a new seller zone. That may be one to watch for whomever is looking at this. Because it is because it just gapped up, I would be with the gap here, this being the buyer's gap because the buyers pushed it up. I'll be, if anything, I'll be looking at a put credit spread at about $100 because that's where I would think support would be maybe. So I would start my investigation at 100, 102. $102. So if we did 104.40, it's 104.38 a second ago minus 2.3, right? 102.1. Be somewhere in here. So that would be 7 cents. If you were trying to, if you're aiming at Friday, if you're going out an extra week, that would be about 100. And so 101. It all depends on where you want to be. And now I will say this, because this is about the same amount. The other thing is with one of these, with 86%, if I was trying to trade this, I would feel comfortable. I probably would feel a little bit more comfortable doing multiple contracts myself. If I'm able to get 86% out the money, $9. This is 85% out the money. And again, this is not investment advice. I'm just saying what I would do or how I would be looking at this. But I did 89% out of the money. And this is the prices are changing fast. So that lets me know it's really doing some moving. If I did 102, this is 77% out the money. It's over 75%. I don't do anything under 75%. So in this case, 22 cents on $100 collateral. I mean, 20 cents on $100 collateral. Yeah, wouldn't be angry at that. Janae said, "I think a worm is quicker." That's funny. So yeah, you got this. You know what I would consider to be a cushion. I always look at a gap as a cushion. But we looked at 102. Normally for me, 102 would be a little bit too close for my blood, but that percentage out of the money, since we're selling, is looks favorable. So I will be looking at that. And I'm just looking to see where there were some more levels in here that would explain the 102. But anyway, so for that one, it would have been at 102 or that 78% out the money. That's where I would go with that. Now, don't forget also that because these are earnings for this week, the numbers are going to be a little bit different between now and let's say next week. Right here, this is a monthly for Target. I think I said, did I say TJ? Did I call the other one TJT? Right? TJX is the other one. So buyer zone right here, really nice, strong buyer zone. Seller zone right here. Got another seller zone way up here that's actually pretty strong as well. This is a serious gap on the daily chart. But you see this drop right here. Put this as a leg in, base leg out, maybe. right? I will go down here with this buyer zone. You got plenty of choices down here. You could just go this one, put everybody in here, and then go out. Or you can go in here, leg in, base, leg out, right there. Which technically you ran through that, so you probably have to go down. You're probably better off doing it like this, which is a lot of candles in the base, which lead me to believe if it's coming back down there, it may fall through. This, I believe, is a head and shoulders formation. Down, based here, fell down lower, came back up, retraced a little bit. All right. Somebody wasn't too keen on what was going on with Target. If it dropped like this is a seller's gap, because the sellers did a smashing type of a situation on Target. Goodness gracious. On Target, my bad, Target. There's a cheer formation right here, leg in. This will be the one in the base. Leg out. And then fell into past this. These are some funny looking buyer zones though down here, even on the daily. Only thing I really see down here would be, I don't know about that one, but this one feels like it'd be more accurate with one revisit. Two revisits, so that's weak. It's going to be weak. So I'll be looking at the in this case, I'll be looking at the 4 hour to see, well, weekly and 4 hour to see if there's anything on those that's more definitive, which if I'm not mistaken, there was, because the daily does not look all that great. So yeah, this was way down here. I don't think you want to be way down here with that. So let's see what 4 hour got to say. Oh, okay. Ugh, Jesus. My goodness. Yeah. It's an ugly chart. Unless I'm looking at this joker wrong. My goodness. All right. So I'll be looking at something like this in here. I really didn't like this one, leg in, two in the base, leg out. That doesn't seem like strong. So I would be probably just doing it like that. And then if you're trading it, it got another gap that's beneath it. There's a lot of indecision type candles floating around in here. So this is another one it's trying to push up. So it probably doesn't have a lot of premiums right now for, I mean, it may, I don't know. I don't trade this one. So if we said 39, so you got 141 at 77% out the money, and 140. 140 is right here. Matter of fact, let's do it this way. 140 is right here. So you're in this area. So I will say, because y'all know I'm chicken, so I'm gonna go 83%. It's $13 on $100 of collateral. one way of doing that. Because it's pushing up. I don't know if anybody trades Target regularly, but so this got a $4 ATR. Got it. Okay. $4 ATR. So that's pretty decent mover. All right. So that's where I'll be doing. Put credit spread with them. Let me swing by SPX again, and then we'll look at DraftKings and mosey on over to our next phase of the day. So 15 minutes. Let's do the 15-minute. And we're going to take this off. Remove. This will be our 15-minute. We'll mark it its first candle. So far, SPX, what I see is that it tried to break past yesterday's close. It has broken past today's high, this morning's high so far. And it looks like the sellers are trying to push it down, but you got some buyers in here that's not having it. So even though it has not broken out, I would say it's definitely one to watch for the breakout. And 53.25, I'll probably be looking to see what it's going to do in its 53.23 area. Yeah, I'll do something like that at or above 53.23. And see what is happening. Because right now, since it's not, a strong decision for the breakout, at least for me, I'll say, because my expectation is if this thing starts dropping, it could hit this area and then start bouncing off. Because remember, we got a buyer zone right here anyway. And this has a price that has been support and resistance in the past. So on the last couple of charts we've seen, the breakout really wasn't strong, and the breakout wasn't really strong in the morning on the past couple of days. So that makes a difference as well. Last but not least, we have DraftKings. Recent uptrend on the monthly chart. Pretty strong. Looks like it may be coming down and or starting to base. It's basing right here. Definitely started dropping a little bit. Broke past a recent low, but has continued up. This is an overall uptrend still, even on the weekly, just the last couple of weeks is where it did what looks to be a pullback. So this is what it looks like on the daily. So this could be considered a possible breakout, right? If I'm doing it this way, okay. You're doing it this way. Depends on this. All this depends on when I was charting it, also. But if I'm just trying to get as many touches as possible, I would be probably would have been looking at it like this on the actual trend line. However, I do think I could see somebody doing this as well, right? But this just looks like a cleaner line right here going on this direction. So that's what made me choose that one. Like it seems just to be more of a solid angle, which would just basically make this kind of a breakout. So wait to see if it'll retest that. But there is a buyer zone right here with the gap up, leg in, base, leg out. Right here. So it will be in a buyer zone. And this would be a retest, my opinion. So I will look at that. So either way, I will be going up here or above. Put credit spread will be down here. So a call credit spread, I will be up above this number. So above 43. But something like that. Activate. Yep. And then, sorry about that. I should have been this. All right, activate and duplicate down here. So this is in a buyer zone. Lady T says Tarjay needs to get the act together. Wally World showed them up this quarter. Yeah, Wally World has a habit of doing that. So this is in the buyer zone. It is tapping into the buyer zone. So we're gonna seller zone, small leg in. That's not true. It's a large leg in, but it's just poking out a little bit. Even if you did like that, some people would do it like that because this gap up will make it stronger. Either way, the zones are closer together. Is how I look at that. But I'll be waiting to see if it taps this line and comes back down. See what it's doing in this area. Just to see what 4 hours is saying. Okay. So I'll be looking at probably be looking at here. For starters, 44. Since you got to take premiums into account. So you can do 44. This is 80%, almost 80% out the money. If I was going to do this, it's above price. Price seems to be falling. This is a 50-cent spread. And I guess the other thing that could be done over here is always make it a one spread. So now it's $100. It's 11 cents. Let's see. All right. That's all the tickers that I see. I never get filled that fast in real life. So yeah, that's what I see right here. Makes more sense to be up here. And these zones are closer together. So who knows what could be about to happen. But it has not. Once it breaks past this low, that's when I see it as a reversal. But as of right now, it has not. This can always bounce and start heading back up. All right. Thank y'all for dropping some charts in there for us to chart on today. We still do not have anything in terms of a breakout. But I'm telling you, man, this boxing match is interesting to watch. Because if you're looking at the body of these candles, this is a fight, man. The sellers won this candle technically, but I'm sorry, the buyers won this candle technically, but the fact that the buyers pushed this back up this far, that's serious. Now this one is indecision. That's, man. Ooh. That's what they need to have, somebody commentating like they do in sports, but doing it for trades. So Dow futures 0.04% down, S&P futures 0.07% down, NASDAQ futures up 0.11%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 0.02%. S&P 500 is down 0.01%. Here's just small numbers. NASDAQ is up 0.04%. Russell 2000 is down 0.26%. And the VIX is up 0.67% to 11.94. ECT Daily Declaration. By faith, I'm a successful trader. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. Money likes me because money is comfortable around me. It is drawn to me. E2T Daily Prayer. Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. All righty, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in this morning. Please hit the like button. We'd appreciate it so it can help us with our algorithms and things of that nature. EducatorToTrader.com is the website to get be a part of our membership, as well as enjoy the courses that are available in there. Okay. You all stay green, get this money. We will see you in Telegram. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Hasta la vista, and enjoy the rest of your trading day.